Hello, beautiful internet family. My name is Dan Davis, and I'm the creative director here at DansTube.TV, as well as the Fearless Drone Academy, which is the ultimate online drone course for beginners. And today we have got another brand new drone from DJI. It's called the DJI Mini 2 SE. Now you might be wondering, what is it? Is it a Mini 2? Is it a Mini SE? That's what this video is all about. This is everything you need to know before buying yourself the DJI Mini 2 SE. Straight away, you'll probably notice it looks remarkably similar to both the DJI Mini 2 as well as the DJI Mini SE, and that's because it pretty much is identical. Again, on face value, we've seen this same chassis, the same body on multiple versions of the mini drone releases from DJI, and this is no different here. There is no major difference here. Even the batteries can be interchangeable between the Mini 2 and the Mini SE. Very kind of similar design here. There are a few little differences here and a few reasons why you might want to get yourself the Mini 2 SE, but I would imagine that by the looks of it, DJI might remove the DJI Mini SE, and they might even remove the DJI Mini 2 from the market, because when we look at the Mini 2 and then the Mini 3, for example, there are a few similarities there, and I feel like maybe removing the Mini 2 and having something like this that replaces both the Mini 2 and the Mini SE would maybe make more sense at a marketing point, because then they can go from the 2 SE to the 3 to the 3 Pro, and this guy here is capable of 2.7K video. It does not have the 4K video, and that's another reason why I think maybe the Mini 2 will be removed at some point in the near future, as well as the Mini SE. I feel like this guy might replace those two drones. So there is nothing majorly different going on here. So as we unclip this little system here and reveal the camera, it is the same camera system that we got on the Mini SE. So like I said before, it's capable of 2.7K video. It's also capable of 12 megapixel stills. But the one big difference here with the 2 SE, which I find the name is a little confusing because it's like, is it a Mini 2 or is it the second version of the Mini SE? It's such a weird one to me, but regardless, this here is capable of capturing raw photos. So that was something that the Mini SE was not capable of capturing. The Mini 2 was. So again, this is a weird kind of middle ground between the two, but it is capable of, like I said, 12 megapixel stills, which is standard, same camera system as the Mini SE. The 2.7K, it's not capable of 4K, and it is capable of raw photos. So if you are interested in picking up the Mini 2 SE, I will have a link in the description below to go over to the D1 Store's website. You can contact them at sales@d1store.com.au, mention DansTube, and they will help you out with the best deal they can for the Mini 2 SE, the Mini 2 SE Fly More combo, or any other drone or accessory or combo that you want to pick up and get your hands on. But if you do want to get the Mini 2 SE, which is a bit of a mouthful to say, it's $599 for the drone and the controller with the one battery, the basic kit with a few accessories. If you do want the Fly More combo, it's $200 more. It sits in at 799 Australian dollars. So a relatively good price point if you are looking for a perfect beginner drone. And like I said at the beginning, this could be the standard now from DJI. Potentially, if they do remove the SE and the Mini 2 from their range, this could be that kind of beginning point for a lot of people. So to me, this is a little bit of an odd release. Now, I guess when I'm thinking like from a marketing point of view, it does make sense if we line this guy up with the Mini 3 and the Mini 3 Pro. The Mini 2 SE kind of makes sense in that lineup. You know, it's like the perfect beginner point. Then the Mini 3 is that 4K offering. And then the Mini 3 Pro is the better offering again with obstacle avoidance. Now with those three drones, it does make a lot of sense. But when we add the SE and the Mini 2 into the mix, this guy kind of gets a little bit confusing, which is why I think maybe those two will be removed. But if we look at this guy compared to the Mini SE, because it looks like this is almost like the direct upgrade from the Mini SE, it's almost like the refresher, we can call it. This guy, like I said, does have the raw photo capability, but the big calling card of this drone here is the fact that it's not using enhanced Wi-Fi. So that was one of the biggest downfalls, I guess you would call it, of the Mini SE. It's using that enhanced Wi-Fi, and it isn't 100% reliable all the time. A lot of people have commented and told me that their Mini SE range isn't amazing, and sometimes it drops out and cuts out, and they have issues with interference and whatnot. So using something like this controller, which is the RC-N1 controller, this is the standard kind of controller now, it's utilizing OcuSync 2 and it's getting us 10 kilometers of range. So instead of the enhanced Wi-Fi, we're getting the in-house OcuSync technology from DJI, and that's going to give you more stable, reliable connection here. This kind of technology and this controller system is what we saw in the Mini 2, which again makes me think maybe this drone will replace those two. So if we look at it in that way, and if we kind of disregard the other two beginner drones, this is a great beginner drone for a lot of people, especially if you've never owned a drone before. This is a great starting point because you're getting that reliable 10 kilometers of range with the OcuSync 2. The obvious reason as to why you would want a mini drone is because of that weight point. So this drone is no different. It's under 250 grams, which classes it as a micro drone if you're in Australia. It just means that you're going to be able to get away with a lot more, fly in a lot more locations, and have less kind of regulations governing why you're flying your drone, basically. Because when it gets over that 250 gram point, you know, you need to be a lot more careful with, I guess, what you're doing with the drone. And that's not saying that you should not be careful with this guy, because you still need to fly it carefully, follow the rules, make sure you register it just to be safe, and you know, go through all those checks to make sure that you've covered it all. But that 250 gram weight point does make a big difference for a lot of people, especially in a lot of countries where they actually are making it like a governed thing, where if it's over 250 grams, like you have to get a certain certificate, or you have to register it, or you have to follow certain rules and obligations. So, you know, with this guy being under that weight point, it does mean that you can get away with a lot more, and that's why the mini drones do stand out for a lot of people. So 250 grams, the same body here. It's not like they've changed. Like I said at the beginning, the Mini SE, the Mini 2, it really is just the same shell. They've obviously just got a lot of the shells sitting around in the factory, or they just were able to just keep pumping them out, because this is no different here. There's no notable change at all that I can see on this guy here. It really is the exact same thing, but just with the different name. So to me, it's interesting how they do stuff like this, because, you know, some of it is software limitations, some of it is just trying to kind of carve out a new kind of offering in the market so that the other offerings can seem a little bit more appealing. So I kind of think that's where the Mini 2 SE slots in. When we talk about battery life, you are getting 31 minutes on this drone here. And like I said at the beginning, the same battery technology that we are getting with the Mini 2 and the Mini SE, they are interchangeable, so you can use the same system. I've got the Mini SE batteries behind us on charge, so I'm going to take out 3 batteries and test this guy out a little bit more. But nice and easy to just get batteries, because there are so many batteries for the Mini 2 and the Mini SE available, so you can get a bunch of cheaper ones secondhand if you are looking for, you know, an arsenal of batteries ready to go. You probably already guessed it, but there's no obstacle avoidance on this drone. There's no active track. There's no like fun, exciting new features here. It really is the same offering. There are a few things that I'll mention soon that are slightly different to the Mini SE, because I think, again, this is almost like a refresher of the Mini SE. But when we do cast our minds back, the Mini SE was a refresher of the Mavic Mini. So it's like they're almost upgrading that beginner drone, and then the Mavic Mini got discontinued. We saw the Mini SE, maybe that will get discontinued, and then this guy is kind of the standard now for mini drones. So again, nothing majorly exciting here in terms of no obstacle avoidance, you know, no exciting new features. It's just kind of a reliable, consistent drone that we have come to love and expect from DJI, which is not a bad thing. But it just means that it's only for a particular type of person, which is probably going to be the beginner who's never owned a drone before. When we talk about this camera system here, the sensor is again identical. It's a 1/2.3-inch CMOS sensor, the same fixed aperture we saw on the Mini SE, and it is a 3-axis gimbal. So there's nothing different here. There's nothing like, no surprises. It's not like you're getting a 2-axis gimbal. It's not like you're getting something insanely new. It is the same offering fundamentally. When we look at the Mini 2 SE, again, compared to the Mini SE, and the reason I do this is because it's clearly the next version. It's the next kind of refresher of the Mini SE. It's the second SE version, which is their beginner drone. It does have a few different features that we didn't get on the Mini SE. So we do get some more shooting functions. We get panorama, we get AEB, we also get 4x digital zoom, raw photos, like I mentioned at the beginning, as well as boomerang mode. So these are things that we did not see on the Mini SE, and they're coming through on the Mini 2 SE. So that's nice, as you are spending a little bit more. I believe it's $100 $100 more to get yourself just the drone itself over the Mini SE. So $100 more is getting you those extra features, and you are also getting a slightly better wind rating. So the Mini SE is 10.5 meters per second, and this guy here is 10.7 meters per second. For the Aussie viewers out there, 10.7 meters per second is actually 38.52 kilometers per hour. So that does imply that it's going to handle really any wind condition. The gimbal itself is capable in all sorts of wind conditions. You're not getting anything new like vertical shooting like you get on the Mini 3 series. No obstacle avoidance, like I said. So this really is just a basic offering, which for a lot of people out there might not appeal to you in any way. You know, the only time it would appeal to you is if you do have one of the higher end drones like an Air 2S or a Mavic 3. It is really nice to actually have a small drone like this, almost as like a little bit of a fun drone to kind of test out an area, because you can fly through tighter gaps. You know, it is a little bit more nimble. It is different to fly. Like, all drones have their own unique feel. And something small like this is a lot of fun to fly and just to whip around different trees and different locations and whatnot. So that is where I would suggest it to people who already have a drone. But this is probably the drone to get if you have never owned a drone before. This is like that perfect beginner offering, especially because it is the latest drone from DJI. So that means that there's going to be more support. There's going to be more kind of support updates that will come out through firmware. And because it is such a standardized design now, like all of those accessories that we've come to love on the SE as well as the Mini 2 is going to work on here. The controller system is a controller system that's been around for a while now, so all the accessories and add-ons and things you can get for this guy is going to come and work this exact same way on the Mini 2 SE, and not to mention you're getting that improved range over the Mini SE. So if you are considering a beginner drone and you're a first-time buyer, instead of getting something like a Mini 3 or even like a, you know, an Air 2S or an Air 2, maybe you don't want to go that far, or maybe, you know, you can't justify the price point, or maybe you don't care for some of the features and accessories that are available on those other drones, then something like this is probably going to be the perfect sweet point for you, especially because it is the latest mini offering from DJI. So you know that this guy is going to be a relevant beginner drone for a very long time, where we look at the others like the Mini 2 and the Mini SE, and there's a real possibility that they could get discontinued very soon, which comes with its own problems in terms of like repairs and fixing it and whatever else may come up in terms of parts and whatever else. So I think getting yourself this one over the Mini SE is probably the right move at this point, and moving forward it is going to be the standard beginner drone for a lot of people out there. So when we talk about photo and video quality, the Mini 2 SE will pretty much do what you need it to do in most situations and for most people's needs. Now, when I think about the average consumer, the type of person who's even considering a drone like this, they're probably only going to be using it when they go on a holiday with their family, or maybe they want to explore a new area. They've taken out their little camera they've got and they're maybe out with their family or with a friend or whatever. It's nice to just send up a drone and get some cool shots. You know, maybe you've gone fishing and you want to send up the drone. Maybe you've gone camping. Maybe you're just in a situation where you're like, I really want to kind of explore what it feels like to fly a drone. You know, this is that perfect point, because the camera quality from it, especially with the raw photo capabilities, like that is passable in all situations. Like, most people will not even know that it is a lower end mini drone. Like, it's just great for social media content, great to show friends and family, great to put up on the TV to look back at some of the photos you got when you explored a new area. It's going to be perfect for that. It does the job, and it does it in such an easy way. Like, it's kind of an idiot-proof drone, very simple to get used to, and a great drone to learn how to fly. That's where I would say this guy stands out, because it's very nimble, especially the fact that it's not the enhanced Wi-Fi, which we saw on the Mini SE. Using the OcuSync 2 does mean that it is a lot more responsive. Like, the inputs are instant on the controller. Everything is, as you would expect it to be from a DJI drone, and definitely a lot better than the Mini SE with that responsiveness. So that's where it does stand out there as a great beginner drone. And then we look at the video quality, 2.7K video. Again, most people do not need more than that. Most people who are going to get a beginner drone, if you're even considering this, you've never owned a drone before, 2.7K is going to be passable. It's going to be great in all situations. Using it to share stuff on social media, like people aren't going to know really any different. They're not going to care. If you're sharing it with friends and family, like 2.7K is great. You know, even 1080p is great for most people. They're not going to know any different. The majority of people, the majority of your friends and family and people you associate with probably aren't photographers or videographers. They're probably just everyday people that would be quite impressed by the footage. And if you're the same, you're going to be impressed by the footage. So I think that that's what you need to ask yourself. But if you do have like a higher end camera system, let's say, and you want to get into drones as an added bonus to your portfolio and an added offering to maybe your business, then this might not be the one to consider at all, because it isn't going to really stand out and wow clients. But at the same time, there is no reason why you can't make this a great B-roll camera or a great kind of add-on to other things that you're capturing. Because for a lot of people, if you're filming stuff with your DSLR or mirrorless camera, you're just going to be capturing a lot of shots, and then just to get an occasional aerial shot pop in, like it's going to look relatively fine, you know, as long as it's not going to be the majority of the footage. Like chucking in some really cool aerial shots is going to add to the experience anyway. So there's no reason why this can't work for people who are, you know, just trying to enhance their kind of portfolio or just to add a dynamic look to their videos. Maybe you're a YouTuber and maybe you just want to get some more aerial shots. Then this is going to definitely add some extra value to your life, because it is such an affordable drone and it does offer everything you need for a beginner. So anyway, guys, that's the end of this video. That's everything you need to know before buying the DJI Mini 2 SE. Like I said, I'll have a link in the description below to check out the D1 Store's website. Make sure to contact them at sales@d1store.com.au. Mention DansTube and they'll hook you up with the best deal they can. There are a bunch of bundles on their website as well. I've got some exclusive DansTube bundles that will also be linked below. So definitely check all of that out. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are. If you do have the Mini 2 SE, again, I'd love your thoughts in the comments below. And that's pretty much all you need to know right now for the Mini 2 SE. I'll have some more content, some more comparisons, tips and settings, and all that kind of stuff on this drone coming on the channel very soon. So keep your eyes peeled, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.